Hi there, I'm Sylvia Plester-Silk, and 10 Minutes to Joy is your weekly invitation to reset, recharge, and rediscover your most joyful self through aha moments and simple energy techniques. Hi, I'm your host, Sylvia, and let's get started. Today, we're going to talk about self-care, a nice cousin to self-love. We're in an incredibly busy, bombarding culture right now, society. We look on social media and there's all this strife and concern and worry. The news is coming in at a rapid pace. The demands on our time, people are being ordered back to their offices. So there's a whole lot of demands on us right now. We're in the depth of winter right now in Canada. And it's a time to really have a look at your self-care regime. Do you even have one? So, when you are engaging in self-care, you're choosing you, you're honoring yourself, and celebrating yourself for those things that you're proud of. And they can be tiny little things. And they can be celebrations that are shared with others or private celebrations. We need to learn to take care of ourselves on all levels of our being. So that means physically, what are we doing to look after ourselves? Emotionally, how are we caring for and honoring our feelings and looking after ourselves? Mentally, what are we doing to stimulate ourselves and grow and learn and things that we really want to that make us feel alive and joyful? And also spiritually, what are the practices that for us personally work? And I'm not talking religion, although for some people that is their spiritual venue, and that's great. But I'm talking about spirituality in the bigger sense of what makes you feel alive, what makes you feel connected, what makes you feel one with the universe. It may be things like being with nature, being with your pets or animals. It may be using different crystals, like I've got one today supporting me as I'm recording. So we want to be looking holistically at how do we care for ourselves. So we know all the stuff about dieting and exercise, but we also are getting inundated with messages about this is the right exercise, or this is how women after 50 can lose weight, or menopausal women and diet, and um, really looking at what is it that your body needs. If you have a sensitivity, how do you pull back and not eat that food? If you and finding the path that works for you without all of those rules and shaming attached to it. Um, Many of us were taught not to take care of ourselves. My mother would repeatedly say, you're not the only person in the world. And I remember as a young child, she was canning. I don't remember what it was. I do remember it boiled over, so it was likely a jam, which would have been really, really hot. And she burnt herself. And I was so worried for her, and she didn't really go to the hospital. And so sometimes she showed really how not to take care of yourself. And so, what are the message you got about self-care? Is it okay? Are you being selfish? Because being selfish is a whole lot more healthy than being selfless, when you're feeling depleted, empty, and burnt out because you've looked after everybody else, but you haven't fed your own soul. And we need to feed ourselves and expand and feel the joy before we can help others through just our energy fields, experiencing a lightness around us, or even going further, depending on what we do as a career or who we are as a person. And when I think of self-care, I think, how are we looking after all our senses, right? We have the sense of touch. So are we wearing fabrics that feel nice on our bodies? Or are we feeling scratchy stuff that doesn't feel so nice? Um, do we use maybe a nice hand cream or something else that's touching us? Do we go for massage? Unless you don't like massage, and then don't do that. Um, Smell. So things like pleasant candles, or having herbs, or cooking with herbs that really enhance our flavor and sense of taste, which can be a challenge when things aren't fresh in terms of wintertime, right? So, how do you get more flavor in your food so that you feel like you're satiated? Sounds. What are the sounds you're listening to? Maybe, well, right now you're listening to a great podcast. What kind of music are you listening to? I remember a client really struggling at dinner time every day. And I said to her, "What kind of music are you listening to?" And she said it was really sad music, and that music would bring her down. We had her change out to more uplifting music while she cooked her dinner, and the energy shifted and changed. So, really paying attention, what are the messages you're listening to? If you're listening to the news and feeling really depleted, maybe shut it off, walk away. Making choices about what are the sounds that you're letting into your life. Your sight. What are you looking at? Do you enjoy your surroundings? I've coached people at their desks to have pictures of nature. If they can't get out, if they're working in a big complex where there isn't beautiful nature, that they could go for a walk at lunchtime. Um, Even our third eye, what are we doing for self-care around our spirituality, our intuition? Are we honoring ourselves? Are we taking time outs? Not in punishment, but like a break to really reflect on, where am I at right now? And out of that place, what is it I need? And how do I ask for that or provide it for myself? So really think about and become aware of where you're at in the moment and what your needs are, and how do you get your needs met in a healthy way without demanding that they be met, but making yourself a priority. Because as we get into a completely busy, hectic schedule, and we're trying to run from this thing to that thing to this thing, we may not be taking the time or feel like we have the time to get together with friends in the social events. And they might get left by. I saw a post on Facebook about, best friend, like good friends mean we say we'll get together, and in a year we're still talking about, oh, we still need to get together. So actually making a commitment to yourself to reach out and get together. And I mean, if people are really far away, there's always Zoom, WhatsApp, Messenger, all sorts of ways that you can connect and be together, even though you're not physically together. Um, what kinds of things do you enjoy, and choosing them and letting go of some of the stuff that you really don't enjoy? Um, how do you make choice for you? Do you even know what you really, really like? Have you given yourself permission to really acknowledge what brings you joy? What causes you to feel filled up, like you have a full tank of gas, instead of feeling depleted, like you're barely dragging through? You want to make sure that you're, doing those basic, getting enough protein, that you're sleeping well, that you're getting enough exercise. What is it that you need today in this moment to be your best? What is it today that you need to celebrate? What was hard for you this week that you've accomplished and knocked out of the park? And sometimes it's just a small thing, like I got myself out of bed when it was -17 and went for a walk. Wow. You know, we think we don't celebrate ourselves enough. We don't stop and think, wow, I did that. And those celebrations are important. And how we celebrate may be simply having our favorite cup of tea, or going out for our favorite coffee, or having our favorite snack. It may be dancing around our living rooms because we're really happy, and dancing around our living rooms is not crazy. I officially say that. I do it on a regular basis, and it lifts my energy and it causes me to feel more joyful. But that's what works for me. What is it that works for you? How do you start to carve out? How do you place things in your calendar that may cause you to take better care of yourself? Because we're all we've got, and it's up to us to look after ourselves and ask other people to help us. Reach out to a friend if you're struggling. You probably are honored when they reach out to you. So give yourself permission to be human and to really think about all of your senses, all the layers of your aura, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. What are you doing in all of those areas to making sure that you feel filled up, nurtured, loved, so that you can put yourself out into the world and have more joy? It's a wrap for today. Remember, small moments can bring big changes. Keep growing, keep shining, and keep looking after you. And I'll see you next Friday on 10 Minutes to Joy. Purchase your copy of Healing is Possible, the 10 Things You Need to Know to Heal on Amazon today. Thank you and have a great week.